What is going on, everybody? This is Ian here along with Chris, and welcome back to another Jagged Edge.
Jagged Edge.
You know, yeah, I thought you were going to pull a DC Aquaman on me for a second, but you didn't.
No.
What is this, smooth jazz, Chris?
No, I'm
okay. I just thought for a second.
I'm just having a little fun. What's
like
up,
it.
everybody?
Hey. Hope everybody's been doing good. Hey, it's been a busier week this week. Not as dry as the previous week for both movie and gaming stuff.
Yeah.
For what we've heard, we got a series of stills to trailers that were released, stuff we want to talk about and review. And some of those stills and trailers go all the way over into gaming, including some news on some big projects that we've been watching, and I'm sure we'll be watching for a long time still.
They left us another crumb, Ian. There's been a crumb dropped.
Yeah. And we really want the cookie.
At least part one of the cookie.
Right? Yeah. Oh well. we'll have Soul Calibur in the meantime. I'll take that steak dinner first, so
There you go.
fine. But no, hey, check it out. Let's roll right into this. You know, looking on film here, and it's funny you mentioned this because I got a call from my mom this week. She was talking about this because she loved Billy D. Williams, and she's an old fan, and then they originally owned the Star Wars stuff. But yeah, hey, here it is, Billy D. Williams, and also Aquaman. I had that right. Joaquin Phoenix confirmed for the roles of Episode 9 and the Joker Origins movie, respectively. So
Yeah.
Billy D. is going to be there. We have not seen our grown-up, bold Lando Calrissian ever since Empire Strikes Back.
Did you apologize to your mom and then confirm to her that this probably means that his character is going to be killed?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Did you say don't be so happy about this? Every original cast member besides Chewbacca is dead.
Now, she's kind of...
That's not counting the droids, which I fully expect them to die too.
Of course. She's kind of insulated because she actually hasn't looked at either one of the new episodes yet.
Oh.
So, LeShock.
Right. Well, that must be a great world to live in.
It is, you know. when they say ignorance is bliss, I mean,
it is here for sure.
Stay in that world.
A world where the story stopped with the original trilogy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I respect that.
I like that world.
Oh man. But
yeah, so I mean we talked about these people
right
into these roles weeks ago, but they were both confirmed this week. So, and obviously Disney is trying to put out any good news they can about Star Wars right now. There's all kinds of rumors going on. Every couple of weeks or so I'll probably do a news dump on Star Wars, but there's so much stuff flying around about it that I don't want to talk about every week. We did that with the DCEU, and then after a while, just kind of like, all right, that's enough.
Right. That whirlwind was changing every week. So.
Yeah, well, so is this.
Yeah,
this really is. Like the latest thing now is that principal photography for Episode 9 is starting up here really soon at the end of the month. And J.J. Abrams missed out on a bunch of interviews he was going to do, and the thought behind that is because he had called in back by the Disney brass to talk about changes to Episode 9 to make it not terrible.
Right.
This
is an uphill battle.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let me ask you real quick here.
Yeah.
On this topic before we move on, do you think that they'll bring Luke back? Yes or no? Not as a Force Ghost. I mean, do you think they'll bring him back to life? Yes or no?
If you asked me that a few weeks after Last Jedi, or maybe in a month, I would have said a hard no because of how we're dug in. Now though, when cash and a fan base is on the line, and what's happened with
the franchise,
and the franchise itself, and with what's happened with the creative control, yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yes.
I don't think they have much of a choice.
No.
And not only that, I think they have to bring him back, and they don't kill him at the end.
Exactly.
Now it's like, no, now you have to live with one of the greatest heroes in fiction.
Yep.
Poor you.
That's the burden you carry. No, but no, and it's wild. Just me, just saying that now. I can't think of another film series I've had to do that with. That creatively or the direction you're going, and knowing that may well be completely abandoned soon, because of just the sheer peril everything's in right now. It's the stakes are too high. The stakes are too high to continue going down that road that we know doesn't yield, and what people complain about so much. So
I don't want to get into the whole thing about it, and
right,
everything that's happened with Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm and all that crap. But I mean, just talk about not understanding your fan base. Holy crap!
yeah, yeah,
This is, that it's dumbfounding. But they were going to bring back Lando in Episode 8. And actually, from what I'd heard, and I don't know, I don't have this confirmed or not, but he was actually supposed to have a large part in the whole Canto Bite scenario, which not only would have been cool, but oh my god, that makes logical sense. If I'm finding Lando Calrissian in his older years, where do I think I'm going to find him? At a casino gambling.
yep, yep,
Makes sense to me. So you can't do it.
right, right.
Anyway, I'm not going to get a whole thing about it, but I'm glad to hear it. It'll be interesting to see how they treat it, what they do with it, and I just don't. All right, stop killing them.
Yeah,
Stop it. But whatever your original plans were for the original cast and all that, you're done. You screwed it up.
yeah. Hopefully the warpath stops.
Nobody would have had any problem with the original cast being dead by the end of the trilogy if you wouldn't have just foobarred it as much as you did. Now you can't do it anymore.
Slow that train down.
Right. Knock it off.
Oh man.
Be creative.
And how about Joker Origins though? I mean, does this? I mean, we've known a little bit about these picks, but does that pique your interest in that anymore, or does it?
I mean, I think he'll be a great Joker.
Yeah.
He definitely looks the part. I mean, there's been plenty of mocked up pictures with him with Joker makeup and such. No, I think he's fine for it. I think the guy's in his late 40s or 50s, so I'm not quite sure how that fits for a Joker origin story. But again, it's not related to the DCEU or anything, so there's no future to this as far as I'm aware of, as far as sequels or connections to any greater franchise. So if it's a one shot, one and done, whatever. There are rumors though that the Batman trilogy that they're coming out with may be connected to either this Joker or the DCEU, depending on how people read how other people took it. Way to move the franchise forward.
Oh man.
Look. Look. I don't understand. I guess I can understand for Warner Brothers, but Disney has they have the whole MCU. How do they not pull Kevin Feige out of there one day a week and take him over to Lucasfilm and just like, here's what you're doing wrong? And I understand they're different properties and but the dude can obviously connect the tissue. Right. When it comes to a large franchise, and you can at least pick the man's brain for ideas.
Right.
And I don't. But this whole thing with DC, Isaac and I were talking a bit about this yesterday. We did a review for Skyscraper, which will be up by the end of the day, and so we were talking a lot about this because San Diego Comic-Con coming up next week, and we'll have him on the Jagged Edge next week, and he's a big DC fan, and we talked a lot about the DCU and stuff, and it's it's just frustration at this point. It's what. The biggest thing for us was, and you and I talked about this going back some months ago. Out of all the confusion and everything, coming out of the DCU and what they were doing and how things landed and the good and the bad of it all, how was it when the dust settled and Warner Brothers is sitting there kind of like, what are we going to do? that they didn't already have Man of Steel 2 in the works.
Right.
That
Right.
and we're both equally just like, what?
I mean,
Look,
Soups is the Cavalry Master, the front runner for the DC heroes and DC characters, and I mean, plus they had something good running. I mean, Henry Cavill and his Soups. This is I can dig it. Like they're Man of Steel. Hey, like I enjoyed those. I thought that's an improvement from what we had previously, and it's been really interesting to see a DC that in some ways hasn't been spearheaded by him.
yeah.
So,
But the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, he'll do well. We'll probably review it. It'll probably be lots of fun, but it shouldn't exist.
right,
Not in this form.
right.
And then we're getting the other Joker movie, and then there's like all these. There's like 5 different movies coming out with Harley Quinn, and it's just in bad. All right, sorry.
Chris.
I think what bothers me about it is like there's not a single guy over there taking the bull by the horns and just like, this is what we're doing, and here's the reasons why, and they need to be good, sound, logical reasons based on the lore that you're basing all this off of and the fan base and what they want.
Right.
Not when some director / producer comes and say, hey, I'm kind of interested in making this. Well, that really doesn't fit into anything that we've been building up for the last 7-8 years, but sure. Go do it. And it's like you establish a Batman that not only shocked everybody, well, most people with how much they liked him, but generally has a huge following behind it. And you're like, well, yeah, but this director doesn't want to do that. Too bad.
Right. Oh man.
Build your franchise.
Yeah.
Jesus.
These are the types of, I think, creative properties that have a way of sort of taking on a life, an ability of their own once they've grown. They, when you've got something down pat like that, you grow it. For example, going into Marvel, there's no point of coming out with something like Black Panther and just saying that this doesn't exist in the same world as Tony Stark and everyone else. There's no point in taking like a hard left deviation that you've established and built this to what it is. This is going to expand that to give us more lore, to dive deeper into it, not run away from it. So I don't know. Hey, whew.
Yeah. So let's look at the next news piece here, which actually shows about somebody grabbing the bull by the horns when they had an opportunity to do something after quite a fall.
And that is for Glass.
Yeah.
We got some of the first images that came out for that. If you were a fan of Unbreakable, especially in their early 2000s, I love that movie too. It's great. One of the few times you get to see Samuel L. and Bruce Willis alongside one another. But no, this came out in E-Weekly, just kind of giving us a first hands-on.
No, hold on. No, that's different. E-Weekly is not the same as Entertainment Weekly. E-Weekly, if I remember correctly, is a show on the E network, and I just don't want to get those mixed up.
Okay, no, fair enough.
Okay.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Entertainment Weekly gave us this interview that just put this into focus and gave us a look at what this is going to look like. Now we've been talking about this film for a while, and also Shyamalan and Glass, and where these stood, and then connecting the larger universe of that, especially with Split, and putting that into context with it. Well, and here it is. This is going to be the
that was an after credit scene, wasn't it?
Sure was.
That connects this.
Sure was.
Yeah. I've not seen Split yet. That's like on the top of my list of movies to see right after Hobo with a Shotgun. So that's gonna happen, unfortunately. No, but I mean, just that's what I'm referring to. So M. Night Shyamalan, who has not had the best of time the last decade or so,
right?
He came out with Unbreakable like in early 2000s, saw an opportunity, and I guess this. I mean, I hear that this was his original idea to try to do something like this, but whether it was or not, he saw an opportunity to try to revitalize something that people loved. Was something new that he'd done that people really enjoyed, and now here we have Glass.
Yep.
and I can't wait for Glass.
This is going to be cool because we've jumped headlong into the world of two of these characters, and I feel that the third wheel is one we have not explored as much. We know this is the supervillain that's sort of been here, but behind the scenes with things, and it's going to be a blast to really dive into Samuel L's character and look more into it. I'm pretty pumped up for this, and I'm thinking we're going to hear at least something more about this at Comic-Con. Maybe.
Yeah, they're gonna have something at this year's Comic-Con. So hopefully we get a trailer. It's about time.
Right.
It comes out in January, so about 5-6 months away. So that's appropriate. I'm sure we'll hear a lot about this, though. We'll probably get a bunch of information about it at this point.
Cool.
Really looking forward to it. These images are cool.
Cool way to start 2019.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
That and all the freaking games and zombie games and stuff we're getting in January.
It's a wonder the apocalypse hasn't happened yet.
That's right. And all kinds of zombie stuff.
Also, online, right along lines of images and some new footage and stuff being released, we got some new shots from Venom.
Yeah.
This was some coverage, interview with Tom Hardy. A couple of new images from Venom. One with Hardy as just Eddie Brock, and the other with him as Venom. Now, another one we've been talking a lot about, especially a Venom without Spider-Man, and quite possibly, it looks like obviously without Carnage here. It looks like to be more about him against the Life Foundation. And how this is turning out. This is on our list to check out and review. I believe, is it just me on this review right now?
Oh my God, no, it shouldn't.
No, it's us. It's both of us. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Oh yeah. I want to rip this movie. No. I want it to be good.
Yeah.
This is like one of I think for the movie of this year. I'm like, oh, you better be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You better be good. Everybody wants this. You got a lot riding on this, Sony.
No, they do.
Literally,
They do.
You've got a whole franchise you're trying to build riding on this.
What do you think here from the couple we got? I know, especially in this second shot, that I want to focus on a lot of the classic, super veiny, crazy teethed Venom.
I mean, these look cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't care much about the one without Venom. It's the one with Venom that's
right.
grabbing everyone's attention. It looks fine. It looks like Venom.
It does.
Yeah, I'm okay with this. This is not what I'm upset about. It's the quality of what we've been seeing from the trailers.
Right. That's it's kind of hard, right? Because to build Venom, first of all, his attachment to Spider-Man, you have to have this really solid surrounding to make a true anti-hero that he is. One of the coolest appeals about Venom is his own brand of justice, which is really deviates from Peter's a lot. He'll just straight out kill who he's dealing with sometimes, but
and eat them
too. Yeah. So it's just what do you have in universe to spur that, or what are the things that are going to be driving him behind it? I just wonder. So.
Well, I mean, that's the interesting part. I mean, pros and cons to no Spider-Man being attached to this. The pro is that they can come up with their whole new origin story. It really gives them a blank slate as far to what they're going to work with. The con is obviously you lose a much loved backstory to Venom,
right?
And well, you're making a lot of work for yourself, and like I said, Sony does not have the best track record here. I would not bet on this movie. I want this to be great. I hope I come out and it's like, oh my God, you know what I can't wait for now? The next Spider-Man universe Sony film.
Right.
That's what I want to say.
Right.
And we'll see. But right now I'd be betting on, God damn it, Sony. What are you doing? Why is this not and again, just have Kevin Feige come over.
Chris, that's the same time.
It's just have him consult in this case. Because they got a deal, they got a whole deal going. So they've got Marvel's favorite toy, and just ask them, like, are we playing with this right? Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, change this up a little bit. And
Oh
we'll see.
man. Yeah.
We'll see. I really want to like this.
Yeah. Same here. Same here. Especially as a big time Spidey fan, I really,
Hey,
really, really want it to succeed.
I think from our top five list that we did last week, I think didn't I say Venom was my number 6,
You
and
did.
it just missed the list.
You did.
Yeah, yeah. So it's up there for sure for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Just
Let's go on to something that's not.
Shazam. We got a shot here as a Zach Levy in the very first official Shazam costume photo. A lot of official coverage this week. Something about man, they've been on it.
EW was all over it this week.
Oh man. But yeah, here you have it. Classic white cape, red gold. Hey, it's Shazam.
What's your impression?
It's Shazam.
It looks like shit. That's my impression.
It's Shazam.
Really? Are we really doing a bodysuit? Are we really doing a bodysuit?
Yeah.
Was there no other options? Was this what we had to do? It looks horrible. I mean, look, it's taken out of context, and I may love Shazam,
Right.
and I may love what they do with this in post, but this looks horrible. If I'm relating this to what I know of the current DCEU, and this is a DCEU movie, even though initially it wasn't, and then it was, and then it wasn't, and now it is, and yeah, right there's the problem. But anyways, this looks terrible. You remember Hans and Franz from Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
That's what this looks like.
Yeah.
This looks like Dana Carvey in a bodysuit. And
oh man.
yeah, I mean that's what I got right now, because I mean I guess it looks very, getting past that part. The costume, yeah, like you said, it's Shazam.
Right.
And I don't know. It's not working for me yet. And again, this is taken out of context. Given how they may do this film, this may all work out really well. But this,
Right.
I saw this image and I'm like, wow, I am not impressed with what you're giving me so far.
Yeah. No, but given I've never followed Shazam a whole lot. I mean, and it really just off the bat, this is just one that I just can't say I got a lot of interest for. Nor does this really put me on that bandwagon. So,
Yeah.
all right, let it blow by for now. Other than that, Black Widow movie is going to get a brand new director. This is from the Hollywood Reporter, a report that came in on Thursday that Kate Shortland has been picked to helm the Black Widow movie as a director. Some of the previous credits she worked on are movies like Lore and The Berlin Syndrome.
Never seen them. Never heard.
Same. I was just about to ask you if you Berlin Syndrome sounds awesome, but beats.
Does it sound awesome?
I love it. I want to know what's the syndrome. What's the syndrome? Is it a mental syndrome? Is it an actual disease? Is it what's up? What's the syndrome? Is it political?
Looking up a trailer right now.
Yeah.
A little kid with a Band-Aid on her face. That's all I see so far.
Oh. And then you had
Yeah, whatever with this. I'm watching Berlin Syndrome right here, and I guess if this is going to be kind of the feel for it, that's fine. This is kind of looking like a Winter Soldier type of vibe, which is exactly what you're going to want with a Black Widow movie, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree.
They seem to be talking about this movie more than any of the other post Avenger 4 movies. Marvel Studios being pretty tight-lipped about most of it. But they're talking about you're hearing more talk about this one than any of the others. And I think you and I have talked about this in the past. I think this movie is going to help establish the new MCU after Avengers 4.
Right.
I think this is going to take this opportunity because obviously Black Widow is directly tied to the Avengers,
Right.
and a lot of those characters, and I think this is where you start establishing what's going to happen with Winter Soldier, or I'm sorry, what's his name now?
White Wolf.
White Wolf.
Yeah.
I think this is where they're going, and this is me reaching out. This is me reaching into the darkness. I think this is where they're going to start establishing the Falcon as the new Captain America.
Oh, there's the
Uh,
reach. Huh.
well, I mean, it's been in the comics, but Winter Soldier was Captain America too. But
Right.
I don't think they're going to do that because I just, one thing that they didn't have to tackle this in Infinity War, but there's still the issue of the fact that Winter Soldier has killed a lot of people
Yep.
and was a Hydra special forces assassin
Yep.
for decades and decades and decades. Not to mention killed Tony Stark's parents. You really can't put the shield on this guy.
No, you can't.
So I don't think they're going to do it, and a lot of people want them to do it. And I know in the comic, I think in a couple points he took over the helm temporarily. But yeah, I don't think in this universe, I don't think you can.
Which I'll be interested to hear more exposition on him because I have still been in my hunch and my stance about this since Civil War, and that is what's the focal point besides of course we don't leave any friends behind. You don't abandon those that you've been close with or made a vow or a promise to. Captain America, what makes, I'm just gonna say Bucky. What makes him worth it long term? This is the guy. Bear in mind, this is the guy the Avengers cracked over. Like the fallout of fallouts, man. I have just not been fully sold on it. Just immediately, what is it that gives him that long term value like that?
I have to take issue with the premise of your question, which is that you say that this is the guy that the Avengers cracked over. I don't agree with that. I mean, he was part of the, that storyline was going hand in hand with the Sokovia Accords.
Right.
But that was why they broke. It didn't really have to do with him.
Well, the Avengers themselves, though, you can write as much as you want a lot. Let's face it. Look, they are hand in hand tied. If they're superheroes. If you want to obey what's on the Accords, what's on paper, go for it. I mean, in the last Avengers movie, that they didn't. In fact, they walked boldly right back into the office where War Machine was and said, "Look, the world needs help. We're here." I guess I see Avengers as they are more of a team than what the Accords could ever say. What a piece of paper could, or what a law could do. And that fracture is less of a physical fracture than it is the glue that holds them together as a team. That was the huge crack. And
yeah.
when I talk about the crack, that's the one I look at.
Okay. So ultimately, you're saying though that you're not really sold on Winter Soldier.
I'm not, man. And I want to be. I really want to be. And bear in mind, I don't have as much comic context on him as well. But I've just been rolling over about that. I'm like, man, this is the guy I want to see. Go the distance because as we said in the past, you always hated how I was on Team Stark back in Civil War. And part of it came down to this issue. I'm like, when all the dust settled, I said, I just don't see it for him. I don't.
It was kind of funny because the latest issue of The Punisher came out this week.
Please tell me it involved him, Winter Soldier.
Well, yeah, like I said, it was him and it was Punisher, Winter Soldier, and Black Widow.
Awesome.
Going after Hydra, and the Punisher makes fun of him, and he's trying to put together the War Machine suit. He's like, don't you have some kind of technovirus? Don't you have something that could help me put this thing together? And Winter Soldier's like, do you think I'm Cable? Is that he's the whole metal arm thing. Like, did you just refer to me as Cable? It was hilarious, but of course he knows he's not. But maybe next week we'll have another Punisher's Corner. Or whatever.
Punisher's Corner. Yeah.
I don't know. We should probably wait until the last one because Iron Man just showed up. So
awesome. So
yeah. So I mean, he's a cool guy. He's got the whole torture passing going. Things are a little bit too close to home, which I think makes it very difficult. I mean,
right.
Once you found out that Winter Soldier was the one that killed Stark's parents, it's like, okay, they're still coming back from
no, there's not. Yeah. So
I
Oh
recently
man.
watched Civil War again, and I noticed I didn't notice this before, but Stark is specifically angry that he killed his mom, not his dad.
Specifically, specifically, this is true. This is true.
Um, yeah, I don't. They're gonna. I mean, they're gonna have to tackle this in Avengers 4
Yeah.
because they're all gonna come together in Avengers 4. So, and Sebastian Stan still has like 4 or 5 movies left on his deal. They put a lot into. I mean, this guy's gonna be around.
Yeah.
He's
Oh
not
yeah.
going anywhere. So, but I don't think he's going to be the new Captain America. Chris Evans is done, unfortunately.
Right.
I wish they'd put up another wheelbarrow of money to him and be like, here.
Same here with the
But
wheelbarrow.
but no, he's done. And in fact, if I was to take a guess, the number one character that's going to end up getting killed in Avengers 4 and not come back is Captain America.
Yeah.
Evans is, he doesn't come out attacking it or anything, but he's done. He doesn't want to renew the contract. You can't blame the guy. I mean, trying to keep a physical form like that is very difficult.
That's taxing. Yeah.
And him and Chris Helmsworth have been doing it for years. Robert Downey Jr. doesn't need to. And like half the time, he's just CGI.
Oh, dude, he's fine.
Or they just put it like they just show him from the waist up. And then they just kind of put the armor on top of him, and yeah, it doesn't really matter.
It's great being Iron Man, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, but they have to replace Captain America. I cannot see the MCU without a new one.
I can't either. I can't.
So it's going to be the Falcon, and I think they're going to start establishing a lot of that. I think we're going to get. I think it's going to be kind of a built from the ground up kind of thing. You're going to get some Hawkeye. You're going to get some Black Widow. You're going to get some Falcon. You're going to get some Winter Soldier, and it's. But I think the majority of the story is going to be based on an old enemy of Black Widow's coming back to haunt her.
Right.
She's going to be the star of it, but you're going to have a lot of world rebuilding happening, I think.
You will, and there's people who, I'm sure there's people who worried saying, oh well, Black Widow isn't one with stalwart superpowers and all the most amazing things we're going to follow. But I want to say, you know what? I think this can work really, really well because she's got some skeletons in her closet.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she has been one of the few characters who has avoided a lot of those skeletons so well. She's sat alongside Banner to kind of talk through some of his. Alongside Cap and others, but so much of that is shrouded in mystery, and I think Marvel have done a really good job building up a lot of the kind of shadow societies, the agencies that are running on the sidelines of all this. We had the whole exposition on Hydra, which was great, and we have some very murky details on Black Widow's own past. But I would gladly watch this. This would be great. So,
yeah.
No,
So, what Kate Southland,
Shortland.
Shortland is that? I don't whatever it is. Shortland, Southland.
It's short. It's in the south. All right.
There you go. Good. Good on you. Congrats.
Yeah.
That's all I got. And from what very little I've seen of what you've done, all right.
Cool.
Don't screw it up.
Yeah.
Don't pull a Snyder.
All right. Yeah. Alrighty, dude. For gaming. I want to hear this.
Oh no!
What?
Well, kind of gaming, but not gaming. Mortal Kombat.
So yeah. So I guess it's sort of gaming. You've got some notes, but this was over some bogus info.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bastard.
Yeah.
Bastard. Pulling my Mortal Kombat strings. Here I am, just dancing like the puppet I am for Mortal Kombat, and it's. I'm glad this was fake though.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, somebody came out with some big news that the directors and producers finally came out with some new information about the upcoming Mortal Kombat movie, to which, in fact, it has not gone anywhere yet. And in fact, I think it was the director that came out and said, "Yes, that's a bunch of bullshit." But I think I don't think he actually said that, but that'd be cool if he did. But somebody came out with a synopsis for the characters that were going to be in the upcoming Mortal Kombat film, and this came out. It exploded everywhere, as most Mortal Kombat stuff does, because I mean it's about blood and guts and fighting and monsters, and everybody loves Mortal Kombat. So except for old people.
Yeah.
For old people.
It's too violent.
So it came out with the synopsis, basically talking about the cast, the characters that were going to be in this, and I mean, after reading it, when it came out, I was like, this is either fake or dead in the water. It's one or the other. It was this. I mean, if this was actually going to happen, let me tell you. Now, you and I talked about this briefly.
Right.
So some of the things that came out on this, a cast of characters, to which there was 20 some characters. There was a lot of characters from the Mortal Kombat universe, and now this is a reboot.
Right.
By the
Right.
way, so this is they're rebooting this. So you're rebuilding a movie franchise. But they did a lot of changes. For example, no Johnny Cage.
That's a big one.
Yeah, none. Sonya Blade is a former military, now a writer.
Okay.
Jax used to be her partner, and had only lost his hands in a previous incident. Not his whole arms, his hands.
Well, dang.
This is just some of the small stuff. Okay. The main character is not Liu Kang. You like Liu Kang? Too bad. He's in it. But this is not his story. What do you mean? Of course it's his story. I know. You know that, and I know that. But this fake synopsis doesn't know that. And apparently some guy named Cody, who's going to fight for his daughter, is that's the lead character.
What is this?
Cody.
What is this final fight?
I know. Here we go. Cody. Yeah, Liu Kang and Goro, Johnny Cage, Jackson Briggs, Cabal, and
Cody.
Some of the other classic characters that everybody loves, Dorman, nobody cares. Nitaro, some people like Nitaro. She's fine, but she came in like Mortal Kombat 7. You know, you don't rebuild your franchise on the vampire. Kung Lao's in there, but he's a mute.
Okay.
He's Raiden, everybody's favorite thunder god, a 14-year-old boy. named Jin, a 14-year-old boy named Jin.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So there was a handful of others. Shang Tsung's in there as well, but who cares? None of this is real. Which
Thank God.
It's like that April Fool's Day joke that you saw, like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing it. And then the next day it's like, yeah, we're not. And you're like, whew. Yeah, so a couple of days later, the director who's slated to build this movie whenever they're going to do it came out and said, look, there's no movement on this film. And, none of this is not real. Thank God.
Huh.
What a because you have a hard time because it's a video game movie.
Right.
So you're already cringing. You're already cringing about it. He's like, "Oh God, what are you gonna do to my franchise?
Bad history.
What are you gonna do?" Even though Mortal Kombat still has the best video game movie, because at the same time the sequel was so bad. So what do you think of that? Does that sound like something you'd want to watch?
What you just described?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
No, it's shit.
I mean,
big old turd in a box.
I mean the whole Cody thing. I mean, if you just went a little further with that, gave him the name Cody Travers, changed daughter to girlfriend named Jessica, and then related that to Mayor Mike Hager. Yeah, final fight and Mortal Kombat crossover. Okay, I guess.
And as an interesting twist, I actually could see them building a new Mortal Kombat franchise, telling the story from a different perspective, maybe Sonya's perspective, or Johnny Cage's, or maybe even, go crazy with it, maybe a lot of it from Scorpion's perspective or something. You could do it. I wouldn't recommend all those things, but there is absolutely no reason in the Mortal Kombat universe to create a new character and tell the story from their perspective.
Right.
That is so unnecessary.
If there's one thing MK has always been, I think, really good at, it's having such a huge cast, but but having all of them really, really matter. I'm not saying.
Well, some of them don't matter. They got a little crazy at the end there.
Yeah,
But
okay,
for
fair
the
enough.
reboot.
But look, the most iconic characters, okay, that you look at. Let me clarify that. I probably can't run all the way, and say something like, Smoke is as prominent as Liu Kang. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty obvious statement. But anybody that has some press time, anybody that when you think of Mortal Kombat, you think of these characters. I think they've done well with them. I mean, we've gone through a lot of them: Sonya, Liu Kang,
There's a lot
Johnny
of great
Cage.
classic characters from the
Sure,
series.
there are, and I think over time we've not only become more fond of these characters, they've just had more and more cool stuff built with them. So I do like how they've handled them.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, there's absolutely no reason to create somebody new. But that is such a Hollywood thing to do, though. And I think that's why a lot of people grabbed onto right away. It's like, you can totally see them being just like, well, screw this. It's a video game movie. We need to insert a new character into this, something that we can flesh out, something better than their one-dimensional garbage character. You know what I mean?
right, right.
It's something they've done stuff like that before, and so I think I think such a shitty idea. People were just like, "Oh well, geez, that's so horrible. It's got to be true." So dumb. So I'm glad they came out and spoke out against this. Um, that being said, I probably would have had way too much fun trashing this movie.
No, I'm sure you would have.
I don't care if it's my favorite video game franchise. I would have buried this thing.
Oh man. All right, good stuff. All right, that pretty much wraps up I think our segment on movies. Now, truly, 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 truly looking at the game section. None other than the FF7 remake. We're going to be waiting for ages for this still, but there has been some new news that just came out in the recent week, and that is over Cloud. Now, if you remember, some time ago there was an event where it was not open to the public at large, but where there were some notes on Cloud's new design. Some really minor changes. We're not talking about completely, shaking up the pan and everything. And people had wondered and talked about that since CyberConnect has been moved off the project. Since those assets have been pushed away and Square has moved everything in house. The whole push for this was to bring Cloud's design closer to Nomura's original layout and closer to some of those original sketches that we saw for Cloud, or especially the original pose. If you still remember it, all the way back in '97. I'm looking at my EGM magazine. I remember I still got the issue from when FF7 came out, and it had everybody's initial character art and stuff. If you remember back that far, this is definitely a Cloud that harkens back to that. Now, the shot itself that we get is pretty low res, but it does have Cloud in the Cloud model in a T-pose rendered in the environment with lighting, and on the engine will be running on and all the other good stuff. So we can't really see the details too well, but just cutting the figure, it's obviously Cloud. Down to the sort of the baggy military pants tucked in at the boot. You got the bracer, the one shoulder guard. He's missing the Buster Sword, of course, but as far as the classic Cloud look, yeah, that hits it. Also, physically, it looks like you pointed this out, Chris, that he's a little better fleshed out as far as some definition, tone for his arms.
Oh yeah, no, he's been eating some food and taking some vitamins and saying his prayers, and he's been hitting the weights a little.
Yeah, a little.
He's got some arms on him now.
He does. As a genetically modified soldier swinging around a ridiculous sword should.
Right. He's too skinny though. Not by much.
Right.
Just a little in the waist. He's a little too skinny. It's a full front version of the model unposed. In fact, it probably doesn't even have any skeleton in it yet.
Right.
At least from that image. I guess it could, but they're not using it. Yeah, it looks a little better. I do think that they need to just widen his waist just a little, not even much, just a little.
Mm-hmm.
and I think they're spot on. Um, no, yeah, it
Yeah,
looks fine, and like you and I have talked about this in the past, and he does look sickly,
right.
and you had said that's from the maca poisoning.
Yep.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I accept that. That's fine. But yeah, I just expect my heroes to not look like they're gonna pass out.
Yeah.
Um, but at
Yeah.
least now it looks like he actually looks like he was a soldier at least at one point.
Yeah, in terms of lifestyle choices, Cloud had a lot of stuff kind of thrust upon him. If you look back at the stuff that happened in just before seven, Zack dying, him kind of making his way through the wasteland to Midgar, and then being found and taken in, by Tifa. But beforehand, him just spending, I don't know how long that was, I forget, in a floating in a tank, exposed to stupid amounts of Mako, being out of his mind, for who knows how long. This is about roughly what I'd expect months after him coming to Midgar, stuff like that. So
I can accept this.
yeah,
The previous version from those trailers looked stupid. You tried, man. You tried
I
defending
yeah I did.
and I just every time I was just like, he needs to eat a sandwich. Oh, he was way too skinny in the last iteration of this. It was ridiculous. It was a joke. I'm glad somebody finally understood that because it was ridiculous. It was too much. It was too far. Too much of a reach to go for that. I understand the style they're going for, but it was too much.
Right.
Especially standing next to Barrett.
It's kind of like comparing an oak tree to a sprout, man.
Yeah, that's not helping it at all.
No, it's not. Barrett has your prime definition of beefiness. So, and by the way, I think they're keeping that look for him with the shades. I'm totally cool with that.
Whatever.
I mean,
Blade with a gut.
pretty much, yeah, blade of the gun. You know? It's like
I'm fine
whatever.
with it.
It's like go for it.
It's the over stylized crap that you get used to from
It is.
from Square Enix especially.
And if you think about it, Barrett from outside looking in already has some really ridiculous factors in the original seven. I mean, come on. The first thing you think of is Mr. T.
Mm-hmm.
That just hit me like a train. In fact, I remember starting up seven. That made me roll my eyes a little bit. And then
no, yeah, he was very token black guy.
yeah, But thank goodness, he sort of broke that superficial mold that he's given right off the bat. Down to his attitude and everything. Then
Yeah,
you find out more about Coral Village and stuff. And hey, he's a cool character. He's a cool character.
he's got a lot of depth to him. He's got a really good story.
He does. He does. So,
Which will be expanded upon and created for its own disc when this game finally releases in 15 years.
episode Barrett,
That's right.
60 hours. Go. Oh boy. There were a couple of other shots that were included on this Twitter post that included. It was actually 4 screenies. One of which it was a different project Square Visual was working on. It didn't have much to do with Remake, but the other 2 shots, I don't want to spend much time on that. They were very, very minor. That was basically for the motion capture work that Square is starting to work on in-house, for especially capturing for cloud. When you're working with assets like that, of course, you're going to do so in very low res. You're going to have models and things you can maneuver very easily in real time that won't take up much processing power. It's really easy to render all that, so you can get the actors a very accurate take on what they'll be experiencing, what they'll be doing in world. That's fine. I know there's probably some people out there who might look at that and might complain, oh my gosh, they ruined cloud, so on and so forth. That's not what you're going to see. Please don't freak out about that.
Where's my Tifa?
That's what everybody's asking.
Oh.
The one of the biggest things I see just prowling around for FF7 remake right now is people saying, hey, next trailer maybe some Aerith, maybe some Tifa. Yeah,
Yuffie?
right. You know what? I've seen. People don't make the Yuffie and Vincent request as much. I don't know, man.
That's because they were optional characters.
And it's funny because what Square has done, it's especially with the compilation, it's pretty much impossible to make them optional characters at this point.
One of them was an optional character. Wait, hold on.
No, they were.
Okay, there were only 2 optional characters in 7, and
That's correct.
I thought the cat was one as well.
He was not. He was a must.
Was he a must? Okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
That character was so dumb.
Oh man, Kate Sith, it annoyed so many people. Even weirder when you look at him. As far as not just his design, just the whole thing with Reeve, controlling him and being the spy and the double agent, and then it's kind of the triple agent, and then the whole. Here's what threw me off. Tell me, I'm jumping back a long ways here. Do you remember Kate Sith 2 when that happened?
What?
And the whole thing with okay, this is weird. I promise I'm not going to take much time in this, but it's important. Back during Disc 1, Temple of the Ancients, when Sephiroth first gets a hold, he starts talking about the black materia and summoning the meteor and all that, and gets Cloud to starts getting in his head, getting him to work for him or whatever. If you remember, when you finish Temple of the Ancients, the whole thing capsizes down. The temple was the black materia. That was the whole point. Like, that's how it's made, like, in the first place. And someone had to stay behind.
That's right.
Yeah, and he volunteered to do it. And then I'm like, wow, like, Kate Sith, he was this kind of slimy, double agent. I had this weird vibe about him. Whatever, hey, he just made some huge sacrifice. And then immediately, next scene, hey, I'm Kate Sith number 2. I'm like, wait, what? That bugged me out so much.
Yeah, I named that Eddie. That was the name of my cat at the time. Wasn't the cat the thing that was really controlling the whole thing?
Yeah, it's really the cat.
Yeah, so I called it Eddie. He looked like my cat too.
That's great.
So that was weird.
See, I think that's going to be one of the funkiest real time-ish renders we're going to see in Remake. I guess I'm interested to see his look just because he's such a cartoony, over the top, goofy character. Standing next to someone like Barrett and Cloud and Red 13, yeah, it's going to be weird.
Can I just say that we should have seen renders of each of these characters a long time ago?
I agree. And this is such a topic of hot debate. What's everybody going to look like? So,
Sephiroth is going to look stupid.
We've already seen a bit of Sephiroth. I don't know if you've seen the shot of the key art. I think it was like close to a year or so ago now. The last time we got screenshots of in-game from Remake, one was Cloud using the environment. He was like he was hiding from a soldier patrol, and then there was a shot of the first Guard Scorpion boss battle, and then there was actually like a full render of kind of like Sephiroth imposed against the background, Midgar, and Cloud. So we kind of see like a half-turned Sephiroth and stuff like that. But Sephiroth, dude. Look, the classic black coat, the double pauldrons. It's Sephiroth. Like,
they're gonna keep him skinny.
Of course.
Yeah, he's too skinny.
Yeah, man. And it's weird because he should be one of the beefier dudes. Because
exactly,
this is someone who has not been sick. And was always in prime shape. The only thing that you could argue that made him quote unquote sick would be him falling into the live stream due to the whole Nibelheim incident and stuff. But even then I don't know about all that because his body was like preserved, crystallized, and he's got all these projections and all this other crazy stuff happening. So no, Sephiroth should definitely be healthier looking than Cloud. Period. But
yeah.
Oh well.
No, it's good to see an image.
Yeah. Something.
It's good to see a thing.
Yeah.
Now, if they make a trend out of this and they start releasing stuff every couple weeks, all right, I'll get behind this.
Then we'd be on to something. But we got no momentum from this. This is the part when you're floating in the ocean on your broken raft and you see a piece of debris come by, and that's like the only piece of debris.
Yeah, this crumb is stale.
It is. No, nothing real right now. You're going to continue to see this. I think any piece or semblance of piece of news about Remake will be blown up to infinity just because we don't have anything. There's nothing to run off of. So, oh well. Comes out when it comes out. If he dies, he dies. Oh well. I couldn't help it. Oh man, moving right on. Hey, Borderlands 2. Anybody out there, if you're a fan of this series, or if you play this and you've been into the whole community modding experience, well, there's a little bit of a, I guess, a little bit of a celebration for you here. There was a release recently, an update. This was an unofficial community for Steam mods community patch with about over 100 fixes. I mean, hey, substantial stuff, but it goes back. Some of the when I think of community-driven patches and stuff like that, I think back to stuff like Gary's mod. And some of the earliest uh, mod things we can come out and look at. But no, man, if you check out Nexus mods, I believe the download is actually officially through here. You'll get stuff for Witcher 4, Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim, Fallout 4, Morrowind, you name it. You're going to have updates for each of these games out there. There's a huge community presence for those. So people are really into QOL updates, really keeping track of things without waiting for some patch to drop out the sky. And they drove this release. Cool to see they're this involved. I personally, I never got much into Gary's mod and stuff like that, but it's a strong community. Look
Wasn't
at
that a porn site?
No.
Oh,
I don't know what that was, man. Gary's mod. How do you even make porn out of? I won't ask.
I thought. Never mind.
No, I don't know, man. Hey, I can't underestimate the internet. I don't know. Maybe there is something out there for it, but no.
Yeah.
If you remember with FF7, I think that's one of the biggest mod projects that I've seen. People have worked years on that.
Yeah, isn't it? I thought that was on Steam.
It's out. Yeah, you can get it. It's the original FF7 story, unchanged and everything, but all the models, textures, everything like updated to the high heavens. With people trying to push out to give it more of the graphical fidelity push. And dude, it's hard. I mean, working with the type of template you had from '97 with the base skeletons and everything else.
Oh my god.
You can only go so far. There's only so much you can do. Yes. So they brought it, I mean, into a better look, which is cool and everything. But man, you're talking about low poly. I'm chuckling because I'm remembering for the time how significant that last scene of 7 was. With the last boss quote, Cloud versus Sephiroth, and they had that slightly higher polygon rendered just for that. And everybody freaked out like, "Oh, this is so freaking cool. Look at the high fidelity." So yeah, the aging of that is one reason why people, but oh well. I digress.
All right, Borderlands 2.
On to Warhammer 40k. There we had a release trailer for Warhammer 40k Relics. Now, I'll say up front that I was a big fan of Dawn of War 2 when that came out. And heck, 40k in general, I've always had a huge respect for this. This is something that I used to play tabletop. Chris and I mess with Space Hulk.
We're gonna mess with that a lot more.
Oh yeah, that'll be coming up. But we've got our first look into this. There's already been some reviews and stuff like this that have come for it. Personally, I think the Warhammer, especially the 40k games, have done better lately as RTSs. There's an exploratory element to this that really takes things kind of purely out of the RTS realm, and you have things scaled a little differently here for how it flows and how it looks and everything like that. Personally, though, I check it out. All right, for what I see, I'm fine with Dawn of War 2 and really just updating that because I think that's a well done game. But other than that, nothing too much out of the ordinary here. Best thing about 40k is that it's a pretty sprawling story. All the races got a lot of lore and stuff fleshed out for them, so these are webs you can spin ad infinitum for you doing extra stories for this.
Yeah, this looks cool. It's tough to get me into real-time strategy games. I love them. When I find the right one, I absolutely adore it. This looks fun.
Right.
Sure.
Like I'll go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Wait, what's the last RTS you played?
Oh my gosh. Well, I play one on my phone right now, but when you talk about an actual game, I think it's Command and Conquer Red Alert 2.
RA2, man, there's a classic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know that's 10 plus years old.
Still an amazing game. RA2, and then what was right after that? Tiberian Sun?
No, Tiberian Sun came out before that.
Okay.
Or maybe I've got it wrong. No, it was Command and Conquer Generals.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah,
There you
because the Tiberian Sun came out after Red Alert 2. Yeah. In Generals.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No, although Tiberian Sun was definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
So we've talked about that. It's such a good game.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, like I was saying, for me, Dawn of War 2. Before that, oh, big surprise, Dawn of War 1. And then going back before that, yeah, I had a lot of years where I was off RTSs, man. It was honestly Tiberian Sun and then Bust for many, many years. So, oh well. But hey, if you got the time to invest in them and stuff, it's fun stuff. I instantly think of StarCraft and those competitions and the amount of time it takes to train yourself to blast through macros and be able to crank out. It's still an amazing skill to see people that sit here and develop it, but oh well. All right. That is all I got for gaming. I think that's all we got for movies. So I'm turning over to Info Minute. All right, Chris, have you ever done an escape room?
No.
I
What is
haven't.
that?
I haven't either. So, all right. So in escape rooms, you get like a group of you and your buddies, and basically there's like a series. It's like a huge puzzle, and each part of each room you get a series of clues that will get you further in this huge like maze labyrinth, and eventually you can get out of it if you figure out everything out. But you have a time limit in each room before you can do it. It's a you actually see this in a lot of major cities and the way stuff pops up. It's a really funny group activity to do that people love doing like a mass like group problem solving thing on. But no, I mean, some of the rooms are really cool. They got all kinds of themes for these and stuff like that. But I guess your worst nightmare is to get stuck in one. So, which actually happened to somebody out in Vancouver, Washington. It's pretty good. So, someone who was intending to rob an escape room place broke in and ended up making 4 panic calls to 911, saying that how much trouble he was having getting out. So they came and got him eventually.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and again, I mean, of course, the actual timer and stuff wasn't running or anything like that. But hey, what better way to get yourself some really weird free advertising than having someone break into the very puzzle that you set up and not being able to get out of it? That's awesome.
Right. No,
Hey.
that is. On the flip side of that, which was ridiculously stupid, did the guy not know what he was breaking into?
I don't think he did.
Did he not know that the place was nothing but escape rooms? I mean, that would have been on near the top of my list of places not to break into.
Right. Right.
Oh
man.
That's awesome. Now this was in Vancouver, you said?
Yeah, and this specific company is called NW Escape Experience. They have 3 different types of escape rooms. This one, I think this guy got like the 911 one in it, or the ER room when it freaked him out. But anyway, yeah, the company offers a couple of different ones. One's this one called like the kill room. It looks like a serial killer's basement or something crazy like that.
Nice.
Another, there's like this like steel autopsy table, and there's like a dead body and like a workbench with like murder tools and stuff like that. So I mean, if you don't know what any of this stuff is and you just kind of step into it out of the blue and you really don't know what you're getting yourself into, it could, I guess, could really freak you out.
That's the best. To break in there and like just find a cadaver on the table and be like, what the heck is this?
Oh man,
What did I break into? It looked normal from outside.
There was a joke that got posted by the owner. This specific spot. Shortly after, she says, "We now have a 0% escape rate with criminals." Cool. So I just thought that was fun. I've never done an escape room myself. I've done some of those like, those like murder mystery dinners.
Oh, really?
Those are fun.
I bet it is.
They're fun. In fact, I still have my mug. And the last one I did, I won a cup. It was from it was in Illinois. It was from the Bissell Mansion.
Did you figure out who it was? Did they give you a stinking cup?
And they gave me a mug and a book.
Okay, well, they gave you a book, too, but it's
Yeah.
like, you figured out who the murderer was. Here's a cup.
Yeah.
All right. Hit him in the head with it. Now figure out who murdered that guy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Oh man, fun stuff. No, that was
that would be fun. I want to do both of those now.
yeah. I really think you'd like the dinner thing. I mean, you not only get some good eats and stuff, but it's you get to sit around and pick your brain a bit.
I just see my ass walking around trying to find clues while eating my burger. No.
Oh no.
You're dripping grease all over the blood.
It's
No, whatever.
It's even funnier. I can just imagine you walking over someone's shoulder because I mean your height is like intimidating. Anyway, you just be kind of looking over you.
Looking at their notes.
Yeah.
Most of all, if I figured out who it was, if I was the first one to figure it out, I wouldn't say anything. I would start mixing up clues so they can't figure it out. Just sit there and watch.
Oh man.
I just sit in the corner, just like watching, just like eating them. I don't know. I'm on my third burger, and I'm just sitting there just eating burgers, just like watching them. Like, this is the entertainment now.
Oh.
They're like, Chris, why aren't you even trying? It's like, I'm watching you guys. You clearly can't figure it out. There's no way I'm going to figure it out because I already found it and I rigged it, so you can't.
I'd give you a clue today for a hamburger tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Oh man.
No, but no, that I don't. I could see myself completely, genuinely screwing up one of those things so that no one could find out.
Yeah.
But beyond that, that would be fun. And escape rooms, they both sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think you dig it. So keep an
The
eye
escape
out.
room thing's kind of weird for me though.
Mhm.
We've talked about it from time to time. I'm very big. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'7". So like most normal rooms are escape rooms for me. So I don't. I'm not quite sure how that would work. I mean, are these things basically like you can only get through like a tiny thing, or like
not necessarily.
I have to lean down a little just to get through most doors.
I
So,
I think you'd have to vet these before you go.
Yeah.
So, oh man, that's great. But all right. That is going to do it for us this week. So, hey, if you guys hear anything random about FF7 Remake that we didn't, anything else you want to talk about with Star Wars, how much you're suffering with that, we can get you to.
We're starting a hotline.
Yeah, we're starting a hotline. You can make calls. Any of that good stuff you guys want to do, hey, toss us a line, throw us a comment, or hey, just drop us a note about that. We'd love to hear from you. But hey, other than that, stay tuned. We're going to have more movie reviews, more show reviews, and more to flesh out our channel and more of our gaming in the coming days.
San Diego Comic-Con next week.
That is next. That will be and it's going to be a lot. Unlike E3, we're seeing the full scheduling for this one pretty early. Just good listing. It's going to be packed. Packed.
Dumb. That's a dumb idea of E3 to do that. They need to give out the whole schedule.
They do.
That's ridiculous. I mean, just from a trying to think of the term
marketing perspective.
No, not marketing, but well, that too. But just from the perspective of trying to schedule your freaking day.
Yeah.
I mean, how are people going to know what the? Anyways,
give it up. Give it up.
Give up on words. Dumb. But thank you very much, San Diego Comic-Con, for releasing everything, which is daunting in of itself. It's almost too much, but some people have been going through and putting out some highlights and all that, and so yeah, we're gonna have coverage every day. So Wednesday is a very small day, so we'll be doing Wednesday, Thursday on Thursday.
Right.
But we're doing Thursday, we're doing Friday, we're doing Saturday, and if anything comes out on Sunday or if we missed anything, we'll be doing a Sunday thing.
Cool.
So, yeah, and then then I think Ian, we can finally rest.
Yeah.
It's been nuts since E3 last month.
It has. I'll have a couple movies to wind things down. We got Equalizer 2 and Mission Impossible 6 coming up, and a little bit of a breather. So, kinda.
Kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's just the schedule's been crazy.
Yeah, no, it's been packed. So, but all right, people. Hey, please stay tuned. Thank you all again, and we'll catch you again soon. Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, there anything we go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but if great if you could throw some support. You can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksawmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, dig up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.